to my channel. Today is our quarterly haul and unhaul video. So I really enjoy making these videos. So what they are is that instead of making like, a whole bunch of hauls and unhauls throughout the year, I make 4, and they are both combination videos, so haul portion and unhaul portion. So the first quarter was January, February, March. Second quarter, that was the winter one, I think, or spring. And then summer unhaul / haul was April, May, June? No, April and May, because in June I thought I was moving. And now this one is in July, August, September, and June. So these are all the books I hauled and unhauled during the third quarter, which is going to be our fall one. So anyways, without further ado, let's just begin. I'm going to play a clip in the past because I'm going to start with our my unhaul portion. So, anyways, I unhauled, a total of 59 books so far. So, without further ado, let us go check out me in the past. Definitely looking like a hot, sweaty mess right now, but I want to film this portion of the, unhaul because I have been going through my bookshelves and just reading the first chapter of each book, and I've been unhauling a lot. So I am just gonna go through my unhaul really quick. Most of these books I already read the first chapter or the first page, and I was like, nope. So, alright, and if it's different, I'll just tell you, but I'm unhauling Anne McCaffrey's Freedom's Landing, Brandon Sanderson's The Bands of Mourning, The Flight Girls by Noelle Salazar. Wow, a lot. Okay. Then A Gentleman's Mistress by Mary Brandon. No thanks. Snow Crash by Neil Stevenson. It sounded so interesting, but it wasn't. Tin Man by Sarah Winman, the book I just hauled. I quickly learned, through doing this, I need to read the first chapter of everything I buy too and decide if I want it, Yeah, okay. Whoops. Clade by James Bradley. Everything is Illuminated by Jonathan Safran Foer. The Secret of Lost Things by Sheridan Hay. Someday Maybe by Lauren Graham. The Rosie Project by Grayman Simpson. There's a reason why the girl in my creative writing class said she showed me that she was reading that, and then she said nothing afterwards to me. The Zookeeper's Wife by Diane Ackerman. Lost Last Night at the Blue Angel by Rebecca Rotert. Mistling by Affinity Konar, which I did read with you guys in a video. I think I did end up just giving it up in that video. Okay. The Secret by Julie Garwood. Emergency Contact. Oh wait, no. The Secret I did read, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, and I just figured I'm not gonna read it again. Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. The Blinds by Adam Sternberg. Then I have a box. The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. Maestra by L.S. Hilton. By Invitation Only by Dorothea Benton Frank. Secretariat by William Knack. Let's see. Then I have a whole bunch of like Harlequin romances. Harlequin. I think it's Harlequin. So I'll just go over those quickly. Occupation Casanova by Alexandra Sellers. A is for Alibi by Sue Grafton. I was going to do a Karen, reading like a Karen for like a couple of books, like a video, but I decided not to. And this is what I thought Karens read. I don't know. Just because, you know, it's like an old mystery novel. There's no reason why. I don't know. This is probably what Karens read. An Inconvenient Passion by Deborah Carroll. Curtain by Agatha Christie, only because this is like the 8th book in a series, and I don't have time to look for more of that series, nor the funds. Nicola Marsh's The Desert Prince's Proposal. Lillian Darcy's Sister Swap. The Boss's Forbidden Secretary, large print by Lee Wilkinson. Let's see, A Whisper of Disgrace by Sharon Kendrick. The reason why I'm getting rid of these is because, like, I'm not going to read them, and even though I have a series on my channel, it's just, I don't know, I don't want to do that every month, so, yeah. Night Moves by Julie Kenner. I have a lot of these. Living the Fantasy by Kathy Lyons. Matched by Mistake by Penny Jordan, Gina Wilkins, Carol Mortimer. Her Desert Dream by Liz Fielding. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Harvest. Don't need this in my life. Only because it's like a novelization of the episode The Harvest, and like, you know, I'd rather watch the episode. Strangers When We Married by Carla Cassidy. Blackmailed Bride, Inexperienced Wife by Annie West. These titles, though. Too Texan to Tame by Janice Maynard. And then The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris, only because it's the second book, and it's really hard to find Hannibal, and I don't really feel like reading that, you know. Glow of Death by Jane K. Cleland. Liberty Street by Diane Warren. Dominia by Ellis Hilton. Oh, and this is a surprise. Great Irish Stories of the Supernatural. Why did I get this? Because I'm into ghost stories, obviously. Did I ever think I was gonna read it when I bought it? No. Then why did I buy it? I don't know. And then The Art of Dancing in the Rain by Garth Stein. Artemis Fowl by Aaron Colfer. I'm sure this is a great book. I just don't want to own it. I don't know why. Like, there's no reason. I just don't want to own it. Mainly because I don't like I found I don't really like middle grade novels, but I do like Percy Jackson. I'm not going to keep it, though. Colorado Birds. Oh, The Guide to Colorado Birds by Mary Taylor Gray. Why? I don't know. I just like birds. Why do I need to know this information? Who knows, honestly. Anne McCaffrey's Kilishandra. The World's Greatest Love Letters by Michael Callahan. Interesting. In Real Life, My Journey to a Pixelated World by Joey Graceffa. I have read this in 2019. I think I rated it a 3 or 4 stars, but I'm probably not going to read it again. I already read it twice, so that's all I need. The Sacrifice Box. Oh, also, I don't really watch his content, so I'd rather have someone find it at a thrift store and enjoy his content than have it on someone else's shelves that don't really watch his content. Okay, Sacrifice Box by Martin Stewart. The Time Pirate by Ted Bell. And lastly, Firebird by Jack McDevitt. Okay, yeah. Also, my phone is being held up by a religious book, or 2 religious books. So, The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, which, I don't include on my bookshelf, so it doesn't really count on this, but I am unhauling it. And I'm also, okay, don't hate me, but I'm unhauling the Holy Bible, because that is not my religion, and I'd rather have someone who vibes with that religion have the Bible, And then I'm also unhauling my environmental history textbook, Major Problems in American Environmental History by Something Merchant. Yeah, I don't know. I can't resell the textbooks. I don't know how, so I'm just giving them to the Goodwill so, a poor college student can find them. And, that book was, I think $25 or $30 on Amazon. And Miss Girl, this stupid person right here didn't really think about renting books through Amazon. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna buy it, it's only $5 more, but I'm like, but if I bought it, I don't even annotate the textbooks. I don't know. It's a choice. If you're a college student, please rent if you can. Unless you're going to reuse the textbooks, which I don't know if you will. But anyways, yeah. So that was June's Unhaul. I probably might do more sit down like this as I go. But who knows? You'll see in the next clip. Alright, so we do have more unhauls to share with you guys. Well, why am I referring to myself as we instead of me or I? I don't know. Nicole's being really weird today. Okay, so I do have several other books that I am unhauling, so without further ado, let's just do that really quick. Yeah, I'm not really explaining what these are about because they're just unhauls. You guys don't care. You guys are here for the haul portion, which I think that I usually do hauls towards the beginning of these videos, but Actually, I like doing unhauls in the beginning so that I can share with you all the haul. Anyways, okay. So the next book in this is that I'm unhauling is The Other Misses by Mary Kubica. I believe I read this and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, but not enough to where I want to reread it. So I'm giving it away. Next book that I'm unhauling is Meet Me on Love Lane by Nina Boki. You guys know, if you watched my September wrap-up, I absolutely despise this book because it is a clickbait title or book, because it's a fall cover, but it takes place in summertime. Like, how stupid is that? Plus, I didn't really enjoy this book, so I'm just giving it away. Next book I'm unhauling is The Snowman by Jo Nesbo. As you saw in September's wrap-up, I DNF'd this and I did not enjoy it, so I'm giving it away, to someone who will appreciate this crime drama. Next book that I'm unhauling is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I did not enjoy this book. 3 out of 5 stars, but yeah, I actually enjoyed it enough, but also, am super mad about it, so I'm gonna make a whole video about it. And you saw also part of the reason why I'm mad, or the main reason why I'm mad about this book in my September wrap-up. Yeah. So yeah, a thing about this book also is that I hauled this book recently during the 3rd quarter. So I hauled this and then I unhauled it. So, as well as the next 2 books we're going to talk about, last 2 in this haul, or unhaul, is Beyond Religion by the Dalai Lama. I enjoyed this book, 3 out of 5 stars, but I am not going to reread it, and I hope that someone else will appreciate it more, because I really agree with a lot of the points that he's talking about, and yeah, I just feel like it benefits someone else. Yeah, so I recently hauled this in quarter 3 in the fall time, and I'm unhauling it. Okay, and then the last book that I'm unhauling and recently hauled is Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. Again, I enjoyed this book, but not enough to where I want to reread it, so I'm just getting rid of it. I recently hauled it during this quarter, and then I'm getting rid of it as well. Alright, now for the moment you guys have all been waiting for. It is all my hauls. So I split this into genres. So I split this into genres so that it's easier for me to kind of explain a little bit what it's about, just because it's in the genre, I'm not really gonna do explaining. I'll just do it for a sentence, but girl, we don't got time for that. Anyways, yeah, so we'll start off with my thrillers. And I hauled quite a few. I'm trying to get into reading more thrillers, so yeah. The first one, I believe, is a thriller called Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick. And this one is just about this girl who goes into a remote cabin in the woods and is kidnapped, and she has to help her kidnappers find their way out of the mountains, and then she'll be released. That's what I got about it. Also, there's romance between the kidnappers, one of the kidnappers and her. Of course, because this is a YA, so of course there's gonna be romance. Okay. Then, let's see. Next is Watch Me Disappear by Janelle Brown. This is about this this girl, the daughter and dad, and the mom disappears without a trace, and they have to, live with her death and stuff and deal with it. But in the future, the daughter gets visions about her mom, and so the case reopens. Interesting. We'll see if I enjoy this. I don't know, it seems very, very up my alley. Okay, so the next book that I hauled is Lisa Gardner's Find Her. And how I can describe this is this girl gets kidnapped and for more than a year, and then she is released and found, and she has to go back into society and live life. But then something happens, and she gives off Dexter vibes from her kidnapper. Yeah, okay, let's see if this is great. And I feel like Lisa Gardner is a popular thriller author, so maybe I'll enjoy her writing. Alright, so the next book that I hauled is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I am sure you guys know what this is about because, it's super popular on BookTube, but brief explanation is that it's about this girl who apartment sits, and someone is suspicious. Yeah, in her apartment, I guess, that she's sitting. So maybe also gives off ghost haunted house vibes. I don't know. You guys who have read this book probably know about it more. I have not read it, obviously. I actually haven't read a Riley Sager book before, so should be interesting. Okay, next book that I hauled is The Dry by Jane Harper. And this book is about this federal agent who... Alright, so The Dry is about this federal agent who comes back to their hometown. I believe he's a he. He comes back to his hometown, and he learns that his best friend and his entire family is murdered. So, suspicious. Okay, so the next book that I hauled is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. And this book is basically about... kind of gives off Clue vibes where, someone's murdered and there's, there's people who are under suspicion at a party, I guess, in a remote location. So, Clue vibes, but also make it a book. So, yeah. So, the next book that I hauled is The Bone Collector by Jeffrey Deever. And this book is about this FBI agent? No, he's an NYPD officer, and he becomes a quadriplegic because a horrible accident he was involved in, which left him, his body, motionless and frozen. And so he is in retirement for it, but then something happens where he has to go out of retirement and solve this case. And he, can't really, move or anything because he's quadriplegic. And he has his partner, and she actually has never been out on the field. So, yeah, cool dynamic, I guess. Sounded really interesting when I picked it up, and it sounds interesting now. Yeah. Next book that I hauled is The Perfect Stranger by Miranda. And this book is about these two best friends. They're roommates. They were roommates. Anyways, they're roommates, and one of them, they both go move to a new town to start fresh. One of them is mysteriously disappeared. The other one, there's a body that's found that looks a lot like her. And, yeah, But anyways, the body that was found was not her. And she has to track down her roommate who disappeared. Yeah. Okay. Alright, next section actually is the genre has now changed into paranormal spookiness. So the first book that I picked up from this genre is Dead is the New Black by Marlene Perez. And this book is about this girl who is psychic, but everyone in her family is psychic except for her. And so she feels left out, but she makes what she can as she what? Oh, okay. Okay. So she does the best that she can into solving a crime. And actually, the culprit, maybe the person who is more prominent in the story as well in like the crime thing, is this girl, and she looks dead. I don't know. Yeah, so that is pretty much what it's about. Also, it involves vampires. I don't know, I just thought this cover was kind of cute, so I picked it up. Kind of sounds interesting. Also, I learned the little snippet in the back says Dead is the New Black equals Veronica Mars plus Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yes, please. Yes, I love Buffy. I love Veronica Mars. Yes, okay. I'm really hoping that this book's good. Alright, so the next book that I got is House by Frank Peretti and Ted Decker. And this book is just about like this spooky house, and these people have to go in it because there's like a game. And in order for them to solve the game, I guess, is to go into the house. I don't know. Sounds interesting. Yeah. Alright, next book that I hauled is C.C. Hunter's Born at Midnight, which is the first book in a Shadow Falls novel. Like a Shadows Fall. What? A Shadow Falls series. Yeah. This is like reminiscent of something that I'd read when I was 15, but it sounds interesting. What it's about is about this teenager who goes into a camp full of, like a summer camp full of like vampires and werewolves and like witches and fairies. So yeah, I don't know, sounds interesting. Anyways, next book that I hauled is The Witch's Kind by Louisa Morgan. And this is about two sisters who are in a small town and they're witches. So very reminiscent of like practical magic, but also not really. But that's all I really need to know about this book because I love practical magic. So like, yes, please. Also, this cover, I don't know, it's just so pretty. Yeah. Alright, so the next two books are actually part of a series about like a witch demon hunter, I guess. So I'm not really going to go much into detail about it, but I do want to read it for my vampire vlog series, so you will see soon once I complete the collection. But I got, it's called the Hollow series. So I got Dead Witch Walking by Kim Harrison, as well as A Fistful of Charms, also by Kim Harrison. Yeah. Alright, so the next book that I hauled is Charlayne Harris's Night Shift. And this book is about, like, this pawn shop where, like, you know, everybody who gets weapons from the pawn shop ends up killing themselves. And so this vampire in the town goes and investigates why everybody's shooting themselves or, like, killing themselves. And he discovers there's a reason why supernatural creatures are drawn to the town Midnight, Texas, which is where this story takes place. So, yeah. Also, if you wanted to know, Charlayne Harris is the author of the Sookie Stackhouse novels, or aka True Blood. And also, this book I just recently found out by skimming through, like, the cover, is also made into a, like, TV series on NBC called Midnight, Texas. Yeah, interesting. So the next book that I picked up is The Wicked Deep by Shia Earnshaw, and this cover is beautiful. Anyways, this is about, like, these two sisters who were murdered centuries ago, and much like Hocus Pocus, they come back, but instead of coming back as them actual, like, body flesh, they take, like, the minds of 3 girls in the town, and they seek their revenge because they were murdered, because they were, like, sentenced to death for being witches. And yeah, so they end up, like, you know, as these girls, they end up, like, pulling boys down in the river and killing them. And yeah, and there's this one girl who is trying to stop it. And there's this guy who, you know, just moved into town and he doesn't realize what's happening. Alright, next book that I hauled is Kelly Armstrong's Frostbitten. And this book is about this girl, and she's the world's only female werewolf. And her and her mate, I believe, not mate, but, like, this guy that, like, oh wait, yeah, they're mates. They follow this, like, bloody trail to Alaska, and they, like, solve the mystery, maybe. Yeah. Next section is science fiction and fantasy, so let's get into it. This book is called Soulkeeper by David Dalglish, and I'm just gonna say, like, what the front says, because it's all you really need to know. The magic has returned, so have the monsters. It's a fantasy. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds interesting. It's a thick boy, but yeah. I think that it's just the first book. What the heck? Yeah. It is 652 pages, so. Okay. Next book that I hauled is Carriers by Patrick Lynch. And all I really know about this book, ooh, wait, I just looked. I don't know if you can see the front, but, like, that's so creepy. Like, look at his mask. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. Anyways, this book is basically about this, like, deadly, weird, like, virus that goes around. So it's, like, human versus nature, and, yeah. Anyways, let's hope it's good. Creepy. It is science fiction, so yeah. Next book that I hauled is Damsel by Elena K. Arnold. Sorry, I don't know the first letter of their name, because there's a rip in it. Anyway, so this book is about, it's a fantasy about, like, there's a legend and this thing where, like, if a king dies, the prince has to go on a journey and slay the dragon and save a damsel in distress. And the damsel has no clue, like, what went on before she was captured by the dragon. And, yeah, so this follows the damsel, and, yeah, there's some suspicious things going on in the kingdom and that legend. Next book that I picked up is The Three-Body Problem by... I am gonna most definitely butcher their name. Cixinliu? Cixinliu. And yeah, this book is about science fiction, and it's about, like, this alien race who communicates with humanity through an online video game. Sounds very, very interesting. And yeah. Next book that I picked up is The Traveler by John 12 Hawks. And this is basically described as a cyber 1984. Yeah, so it sounds super interesting. And it follows multiple characters. And yeah. Right. I think it's science fiction because it is a cyber 1984. Anyways, next book that I picked up is The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. Yeah, this is part of the Witcher novels. I think that this is the first Witcher novel. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So, I don't know. If you've seen The Witcher, you know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, it's, a fantasy. Yeah. Don't really feel like explaining that. Anyways, I got The Golden Compass next by Philip Pullman, and it's just about, like, this girl who has a best friend, and the best friend disappears, and she has to go and search for him, or them, and, yeah, anyways, yeah, so, like, this is, like, I believe it's a fantasy. Yeah, interesting. I don't know if you guys, have you seen, The Golden Compass as a kid with, Nicole Kidman? Yeah, I know I have, like, one time, because Nicole Kidman used to be my favorite actress, because her name was Nicole. And that's the only reason. Okay. Not that she's not a good actress, but, like, as a kid, you don't really have favorite actresses or actors because you're a kid. You just have favorite movies, but, like, yeah. Anyways. So, the next book that I picked up is Connie Willis's remake. I enjoy Connie's writing. She is a family friend of ours. And what this is about, it's a science fiction book about, basically about, like, how, like, movies in Hollywood are obsolete because people can, like, it's in the future where they can, like, make their own movies. So, yeah, pretty much. And it's about, like, follows this girl who actually wants to be, I believe, like, a entertainer, like, actress or something. So, yeah. Next book that I picked up is Across the Universe by Beth Revis. And this is basically about this girl who is, like, cryogenically frozen on this spaceship. And she is alone. And she goes to join her parents as a member of, like, this, like, ship. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. And it's a science fiction, obviously. Next book that I picked up is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. And, yeah, this book is just about, like, these kids, this brother and sister, who, live in this town where, fairies and humans live side by side. And they come up with this crazy story where this guy in this glass coffin is a prince, and he doesn't wake up, so they give up on him. And then, like, one time he wakes up, so I don't know. Yeah, okay. That's obviously a fantasy. This is what I picked up next, and it's The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. I have no clue what this is about. All I know is it's like a fantasy with fairies and a kingdom and stuff. And I know that I really, really, really wanted to read this in middle school. I saw it in middle school, and I saw it and it really intrigued me, just the cover alone. And yeah, anyways, it's been quite a while since middle school, since I saw that. Probably more than 10 years. So yeah, let's hope that middle school me has great reading taste. Next book that I picked up is The Martian by Andy Weir. Guy gets trapped on Mars, and he's trying to survive on it. Yeah, really great. I have read this already, but decided to rehaul it. So now is on to contemporary. So let us continue on. So sorry for the long video, but oh well. Next I got is The Outlander by Jill Ann Adamson. And this is about, like, this girl who, I don't know, she, like, explores America's, like, in the West. And she is trying to, outrun the law because she possibly, she murdered her husband. So, yeah. Sounds very interesting. Next book that I picked up is Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. And, yeah, all you, like, honestly, do I need to explain what this is about? It's just about, like, this guy and his friend who start a fight club. Yeah. I don't know, it's a very popular movie. I'm sure you know what it's about. But if not, there you go. Next I got is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. And it's like a romance, YA romance between this girl. She has a bad home life and this guy. And he really likes music, so they, like, get together. I don't know. Yeah. And then the next book that I picked up is A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. So basically, it's about this guy who is in the 1920s, and he is put in under house arrest for being an aristocrat. I almost said aristocat. Nicole, we're not talking about Disney movies. And he has to watch the Russian history and stuff, like, unfold from the window in his attic. So, yeah. I'm told that it's very slow, but I'm interested. Alright, next book that I picked up is Hairstyles of the Damned by Joe Menno. All I know is that, like, this is just about this kid who's really into punk rock, and that's pretty much it. And I am a punk rock enthusiast, so, yeah. That's pretty much all I can say about that. Next book that I got is Saints and Misfits by S.K. Alley. And it's just about, I don't know, it's like a coming of age story, but also, like, influenced on, like, Muslim culture, in that religion. Yeah. That's all I can really tell what it's about, but I'm sure when I read it more, I'll be able to tell you more about it. Because obviously, I've read it. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, the next book that I got is A Reliable Wife by Robert Goulrick, and it's just about, like, this guy who places a ad in the newspaper for a wife. He's like, hey ladies, come over. You know, I need a reliable wife. And this girl responds, and she says that she's a reliable wife, a simple, honest woman. But she is lying, so yeah. Anyways, okay. Next book that I picked up is I Am Jay by Chris Beam. This is a story about this guy named Jay, and he is transgender, and it's just a coming-age story about him learning who he is and discovering that he is a he instead of a she, you know? Yeah, okay. Okay. Next book that I picked up is The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin. This is basically about these people who get told, like, when they will die by this psychic woman, and yeah, they live their lives knowing that information. Next book that I picked up is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. And I honestly have no clue what this is about. I think it's a coming-age story. Yeah, about this guy who, like, survives an accident that kills his mother, and he is an orphan. Yeah, and he's taken in by family. That's all I know. Wow, such sad book. Okay, next book that I picked up is The Mistletoe Secret by Richard Paul Evans. This is about, like, it's like a reminiscent of a Hallmark, like, rom-com, and it's about this girl who's, like, she is a blogger, and there's this guy, and he reads her blogs, and he's a big fan, and they have a romance, and it's a Christmas love story. Okay. Okay. The next two books I'm not going to really go much into detail, but I'll tell you why I got them. So, I got Sarah Deason's Lock and Key, and Sarah Deason's, or is it Deason? I'm going to say Deason, Someone Like You. And I also own her What Happened to Goodbye, so I am planning on making a reading vlog of reading 3 of her books. And yeah, I have never read a Sarah Deason book before. Yeah, so should be interesting. That is honestly why I got these, because I've always wanted to read a Sarah Deason book, so yeah. Now I have an excuse. Okay. Next book that I got is Molokai by Alan Brennart. And this is just about this girl who it takes place in Hawaii, and there's this girl who has a mark on her body, and she is sent to Kalupapa, the quarantined leprosy settlement on the island of Molokai. Yeah, so it sounded really interesting, very sad, and I don't know. I'm more gravitated towards like sad books, I just noticed. Okay, especially contemporary. Anyways, next book that I got is Irvine Welsh's Trainspotting. I freaking love this movie. Trainspotting is my top favorite movie of all time. I mean, behind SLC Punk. I freaking love SLC Punk. But Trainspotting is just about like a group of friends who are heroin addicts, and I believe they're just trying to like sell heroin, maybe? Or like steal from a heroin dealer. I can't remember, but it's really good, and I am excited to read that book. Next book that I got is Starfish by Kemi Dawn Bowman. And this book is about this girl, and she has a really sucky home life, and yeah, pretty much that. Next section is my favorite authors. So I only have a couple of books in this section, but I'll just go through them. First off is I got The Tommyknockers by Stephen King. Stephen King isn't really my favorite author, but I do keep on getting his books because I feel like I'd like them, but every time I read a Stephen King book, I'm like, ugh, but, that's not gonna stop me. Anyways, yeah, The Tommyknockers, not sure what this is about. All I know is it's by Stephen King, so that's all I need to know. Anyways, next book is another Stephen King book, and it is Under the Dome, a thick boy as well. And yeah, I think it's just about a town that is under a dome. Anyways, okay, so next book that I picked up is The Search by Nora Roberts. Nora Roberts, we love her. Yeah, and I don't know, it's like a mystery novel, so I'm very excited about it. I'm hoping, I don't know, I feel like I want to get into reading this book in November because I feel like it's a very spooky book, but also not Halloween-y, so yeah. Anyways, next section is classics. So, the first book is Animal Farm by George Orwell. Yeah, and I actually already read this, so it was very good. Yeah, so if you want to know more about it and my thoughts and opinions on it, watch my September wrap-up. But, okay, next in the classics department is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller, and yeah, don't really know what it's about. Yeah, don't really know what this is about. I don't really want to go over and explain it. All I know is it's just funny, I guess, and I don't know, when I kind of read it over, it kind of like reminded me of Catch Me If You Can. So I don't know if that book's or Catch 22 inspired Catch Me If You Can, but yeah. Anyways, next book, The Lost World by Arthur Conan Doyle. Not to be confused with The Lost World by Michael Crichton. Anyways, this book is about like these people who discover the lost world of dinosaurs, and yeah, I don't know. Okay. Next book that I picked up is Sula by Toni Morrison. And it's like more of a contemporary type thing that follows the character Sula and her exploring her womanhood and ruining friendships. Yeah. Anyways, next book that I picked up is Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Yeah, I read this in high school and I wanted to reread it because, like, I don't know, I just wanted to, so yeah. Picked it up. Don't really know much about what it's about, but hey, it's a classic that people forced you to read in high school, so like, why wouldn't you pick it up? Okay, last section is a nonfiction, so we'll go through this quickly, but I picked up Julia Child's My Life in France, so it just is about her life in France, and I wanted to pick this up because books like Whoa, she was talking about it, and I was like, oh, I'll read it, you know? Next book I picked up is How to Be a Woman by Caitlin Moran, and I feel like this book is very reminiscent of like a feminist like discussion on women like in our struggle and stuff, I guess, so very interesting. Yeah, next book that I picked up is The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, and this is just a discussion about the belief in God and the harm that religion causes on like society with like 9/11 and the Crusades and stuff. So by a scientist guy, so like, I don't know, it sounded really interesting. I myself am not a Christian anymore, so I don't know, I just like to read books that discuss about that, and yeah. Next book I picked up was Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi, and I did already read this and I loved it. So if you want more of my thoughts, go to watch my September wrap-up. Okay, next book that I read, next book that I hauled is 1950 Crossroads of American Religious Life by Robert S. Elwood. And this is just about how, like, Christianity played in the Cold War and in the 1950s and with the American ideal. And it sounds very, very interesting. So I would love to read that. The last book that I hauled is Elvis and Me by Priscilla Presley. And this is just about Priscilla's experience being married to Elvis Presley and how he really, like, was not who the media portrayed him as. So that sounds very interesting. Okay, so those are all the books that I hauled. This video is gonna be the longest ever. I'm sorry about that, but anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want, comment down below if you like me giving brief synopsises of like each book, or do you want me to just like like, make the video shorter and just go, oh, I hauled this, you know. Please let me know in the comments down below. I think I already said, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I've been rambling for way too long. So if you would like, you can subscribe to my channel, but you don't have to. Anyways, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye. Be sure to follow my Instagram and Goodreads. I post all my updates on Instagram, as well as fun pictures, and I post everything that I'm reading currently on Goodreads. So if that's interesting to you, please follow. Link in the description.